All right, it's now 7:35 p.m., July the 18th. Special council meeting will now come to order. Please rise and join me once again for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn the mics up. Patty, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Frank Banker.
Present.
Councilmember Leslie Notero.
Here.
Councilmember Lloyd Roberts.
Here.
Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Here.
Councilmember Mike Zabel.
Here.
Vice Mayor Glenn Gunn.
Here.
Mayor Dave Gaddis.
Here.
Interim City Manager Kyle Riefler.
Here.
Mr. Len Reeves.
Here. Thank you very much, Patty. All right, we have one item on the agenda. It is for consideration of setting the tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2022-2023. Before we continue, we must have a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Jody Shirley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Excuse me, they have to say what they want to set the millage rate at?
That's true.
Oh, I thought we were just moving to begin the process.
We're actually voting on something.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do that.
So the motion would be to consider setting the tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2022-2023. All right, and seconded by
At the
Mike
current,
Zabel. All right. So I'm going to give some details right quick, and then Jody, you'll have the floor. The proposed millage rate is important because this rate cannot be increased unless each taxpayer is mailed a revised notice of proposed property tax. Also, the final millage rate cannot exceed the tentative adopted millage rate, but can always be lower. We just finished discussing the proposed budget, which is based around the same millage rate that we have today, which is 2.0394. It is estimated that the proposed millage rate is $177,775, or nearly 14% more than the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Like last year, this is due primarily to increased property values. Councilmember Shirley, you have the floor.
yes, I would propose that we move forward with the budget as presented with the millage rate of 2.0394.
Thank you very much. Other comments?
Yes, I put that paper, I looked at what was the possible impact to the citizens, and really I was focusing, when I say citizens, to people that have homesteaded here, people that are current residents within the city limits. And if they're in the Homestead Act, obviously you have a break there, then you have the break senior, but you also have the Save Our Homes cap, a maximum 3% raise on the homestead properties. So, I don't like using the word, but it's really a minimal impact by keeping the millage at its current rate. And as we saw, in fact, we just received the paper that the waste itself went up 8.7%. So we can't afford to give any breaks at this time. So I would recommend as well voting for the 2.0394 existing millage rate.
Thank you. Other comments?
You mentioned a 14% increase in property values.
No, I didn't say in property values. I just said that the amount, estimated amount collected would be about 14% more than what it was.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Just because of property value.
Yeah, all right. Then why can't we roll this back a little bit?
So a rollback, we would lose that 14%. This is my opinion, but we would lose that 14% gain, and everything has gone up 9%.
I'm not looking at, I think the rollback rate would be like 1.9.
It's 1.79, no, it's, yeah,
It's 1.7916.
and we'd lose 173,700 from our current budget. We'd have to find those cuts.
Well, what I'm saying is, we haven't found out what the 14% is going to equate yet with the millage rate.
Actually, they gave us a chart. The projections are on the next page, page 10.
They're not final
cities.
cities.
They're preliminary, though.
I don't think we can get the trim until.
They're generally pretty accurate.
Yeah, they're pretty off.
Well, I'm not looking to go back to 1.7, I thought it was really 1.9. I'm thinking about going to about 1.95. Splitting the baby or something.
Well, one of the problems we have right now is by going back, we have to start the budget process completely over. And we would have to do that if we decided to go with rollback rate or something like that. Remember, this is the tentative
I understand.
millage
I
rate,
understand.
which means that this sets the maximum that we can ask for. So we can always reduce it whenever it comes time to actually vote for the actual millage rate. But I think most people will agree it's better safe than sorry.
Well, I would support, if you're for that, you're there. I would support that for now, but I don't think I would support it going forward.
Okay. Other comments?
I support the 2.0394 at this point. As you said, it's the maximum we can do if, when we get through the budget, we have our public hearings and hear from the citizens, we can always go back, but we can't go forward. So this is just a cap.
Thank you. Lloyd Roberts.
Yeah, I concur. I think I mentioned that last time we were talking about the millage rate, that and I'm glad Mike went through the actual arithmetic.
I tried, right?
But I had said that I thought it would be a minimal additional cost. Of course, everybody has a different definition of what minimal is, but I think the additional cost for each homeowner, the fact that it is, I'll use that term minimal, the overall amount of money that's going to come back to the city is pretty substantial, and I think we can definitely use that money.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Gunn.
Have we ever gotten a definitive answer on this partial rollback issue? I mean, we've been asking it forever, and
Lynn explained it to me during the private budget meetings. He said, you go back to, I guess, the 1.79, you can't get any of the money. He says, if you raise it just a little bit. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you could explain it, how you explain it to me.
And you can modify that rollback. It doesn't have to go all the way back. And I looked at your rollback number, you know, that's a pretty substantial rollback if you did the full amount. I mean, the current situation with inflation and things of that nature, if you really look at the amount of money that it could cost an average, what do we got, 1,200 and some properties in the city, it's probably $140 a house.
I'm with you.
We're only halfway through the year, and inflation is
9.1%.
going crazy.
I only ask that, okay, so we've gotten that out of the way. I'm not in favor of rolling it back. There's just too much uncertainty in this stage for the economy to go back right now. And while in the short term, it would feel good, I think you'd have a hard time explaining why you bump the taxes up. And that's going backwards is very easy. But if you have to say, oh, okay, the truth has changed, now we're increasing your taxes, you're going to hear about that a lot more from the residents.
I'm not disagreeing, right? It's politics. I mean, they love you today and they hate you tomorrow. I mean, but My philosophy is that people can spend their money better than us.
Any other comments from the council? Let's go to the citizens.
Ron Scannick, 2219 Donato. I'm for maintaining the millage rate where it is. I was just asking John Hayes, last year the county rolled back, was it 10 or 15 basis points, and nobody did hit the parade, nobody said anything, it didn't make a difference. I mean, I think, as you guys went through the budget exercise, there's a lot of projects. It's a blessing that the increase is here, and so I think the citizens would rather see more of the projects handled and taken care of sooner versus later. So, I support the conversation here around the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other comments from the citizens? No? All right, let's take it back to the council. Any comments? Jody Shirley, you have the last word.
I just say let's vote on it.
All right. So, Patty, what I'd like to do is take a roll call vote. Based on our prior discussions, I believe we are only considering two options. We were presented with four in the report, and I don't think anyone is considering going higher than our current millage rate. Am I correct? Okay, good. All right, so option A is the rollback rate of 1.7916. Option B is the proposed and existing rate of 2.0394. When called, please select option A or option B. Patty?
Councilmember Bankert,
B.
Councilmember Notaro,
B,
Councilmember Roberts,
B,
Councilmember Shirley,
B,
Councilmember Zabel,
B.
Vice Mayor Gunn,
Clarification, B is for 2.0394.
Correct.
Option B.
Mayor Gaddis.
B, so it's unanimous. The tentative millage rate will be set at 2.0394. Tomorrow we'll be interviewing 4 candidates for the city manager position. I would advise everyone to carefully review each of the candidates and be prepared to ask questions. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Leslie Notaro?
just a quick question, do we know I know we know, Patty, can you say down somebody, the 4 candidates that we're gonna be interviewing tomorrow?
Say that again,
The
please.
4 candidates?
Right?
Could you give us a name now, or do we know right now, you can just tell us who the 4 candidates are that we're interviewing?
Yes. And you got the applications, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Mayor, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. It's Ken Griffin, he was number 11. Number 15, Peter Cavalli. Number 20, Kyle Riefler. And number 28, Robert Daniels.
Did all the other ones stipulate that they're not interested?
Well, I think, Mayor, if you'll help me, we had Shane Crawford who declined. We had Mr. Mendez who never replied. And who was the other one? I think there was one
One had another
more.
job.
Fabry was the guy. from-
Fabry had
Right.
accepted another position. Thank you,
Okay,
Vice
so
Mayor.
those 3.
Okay, now do I have a second?
So what, 20 minutes allotment still?
It's, what it is we'll start out, we'll have 10 minutes for a brief discussion and go over what we're doing, and then we'll have 20 minutes for the candidate. As soon as that one's over, we'll have 10 minutes, and then it'll be 20 for the next candidate. At the end of this exercise, it'll be 2 hours. 2 hours have lapsed, and then we'll take as long as we need to decide what we want to do with what's been presented.
Mayor, just kind of a reminder, I will not be able to participate through the whole thing. I'll be in my car waiting to attend another meeting.
Okay.
So I don't know how much participation, but this will be on Zoom and recorded, is that correct?
Kyle's going to set up Zoom meetings and you can join each one, correct, Kyle?
You have to join separate Zoom meetings for
separate Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, but they'll be recorded, so if I miss, the ones I miss, I can get the recording, is that correct?
Yes, right?
Just make sure you start recording on each one, yes.
Do we need to hire someone to help? It's hard, I don't know.
What I would advise you to do is do the very best you can to dial it, because the goal, if we decide that there are two worthy candidates, is to advance them to the next round. Love to have you.
Is this the order they're gonna be in? Is it better?
I am not sure what order they were put in.
In that numerical order.
Is that the order they're gonna go?
That's how they're scheduled, Jim.
Okay, a motion has been made to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Like to say, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?